morning, LA. It's breakfast time. So today, as you saw, we are going to be having HOMESTATE breakfast tacos. This is a staple in Los Angeles breakfast culture. You know, anyone who loves breakfast has had a HOMESTATE breakfast taco, so it seemed time to do it here on the channel. I have 4 different types of tacos because no one gets one taco. So we have the Trinity taco, which this is your classic. This is the eggs, bacon, potato, which we'll talk about, and cheddar. Next, I have the Comal taco. The Comal taco is the vegetarian option. So for all my vegetarian fans, which I know there's at least one, this is eggs, black beans, and cheese. That's it. No meat. So that's a great option for vegetarians. And then we have the Picos taco. This one is eggs and Texas shredded brisket. So this one is something I'm very excited to talk about. Finally, we have the Don't Mess with Texas. And this is refried beans, cheddar, potato, and bacon. So that's a little bit different. Haven't had that one. So, you know, I want to just dig in. As normal, when I'm not in the studio, this is going to be kind of a quick, like, try everything when it's as fresh as possible. Get a good sense of the taste, and then kick back to the studio where we do our final thoughts and also the ratings. So without further ado, I think it's time to dig in here. I'm going to start with the Trinity. We'll start with the basics and we will move up. And all of their tacos are on homemade flour tortillas. The homemade tortillas make a huge difference. This is about the size. You can see they're not small. They're pretty big. I would say this is probably like a 6 or 8 inch tortilla in terms of diameter. Like this is not a tiny thing. So you probably don't need more than like 3 or 4 of these to really feel full. Probably can get away with 2. Time to take a first bite. So first bite is, to be honest, not remarkable. Not surprising. You know, I've had HOMESTATE before, and the Trinity, although it is like sort of the most basic, is not their strongest option. And I knew that going in, but I wanted to give it an equal chance. When I bit in, you can see here that there's no bacon in that bite. So I got eggs, which was good, I got cheese, which was good, and I got potatoes, which I'm lukewarm about. But the thing that I didn't get any of is bacon, and not getting any bacon in a, you know, basically bacon, egg, and cheese taco is a problem for me. There are 2 sauces that come with it. We got a red and we got a greenie, to quote the How Ridiculous boys. The red, which I only have one of, or no, I have one more. The red is like a smoky chipotle sauce, and it is really good. I'm just gonna put a little drop. I'm just gonna put a little drop on my Trinity here. Smoky. You get that classic chipotle pepper where it's not spicy, but it does have like a full, like a very Tex-Mex barbecue kind of flavor. It's really good. And then you've got the green salsa here. This one Just put another couple of drops on this. Okay. So this one has like a spice to it. It's not super spicy by any stretch of the imagination. You know, only someone who has never had spicy food would think this is spicy. Like, it just has a spice, so you get the essence of spice, basically. So take a little bite of this. And on bite number 3, I finally got some bacon. You know, overall, the Trinity is a fine taco, but we have better options. So let's move on. Put that to the side. I'm gonna save our vegetarian one for last. I'm gonna go to Pecos. So this one is the brisket. It's just egg and brisket. You can tell. So this is the Pecos taco. This thing is chock full of egg and brisket. This is brisket down on the bottom here that you just saw. So this is probably my favorite taco that I've had thus far from HOMESTATE. I've had, as I said before, I've had HOMESTATE before. I've had the Trinity, the Pecos, and the Comal. So I haven't had this Don't Mess with Texas, bottoms up. Called HOMESTATE a Texas kitchen because HOMESTATE refers to Texas, and it is a Texas-inspired restaurant. This, with the brisket and the eggs, this is where that Texas legacy and Texas inspiration really comes to play in a major way, because the brisket is so good, and when it's combined with these soft fluffy eggs, and they definitely go a little easy on the egg scramble. Like, it's not like a super hard egg scramble like you might get from a lot of places. So the eggs are like kind of creamy, and they almost create, like in your mouth, they almost create like a sauce around the brisket. And so you don't need anything else. You don't need cheese, you don't need anything else, because the eggs in this are cooked so perfectly. So this is absolutely awesome. I'm gonna put the chipotle sauce on here because this combination is like to die for. Yes, sir. That's amazing. I mean, it's literally perfect. And then the green spicy salsa, put that on there. That's not as good as the chipotle, but it is really, really good. And you can see, if I get this in focus, how much brisket there is in there. I mean, that's a ton of brisket. And then you got the egg there. A plus. A plus, the Pecos A plus. So let's move into the Comal, the last one that I've had in the past. This is, as I said, our vegetarian option. So this is no meat. This just has beans, egg, and cheese in it. So it's not vegan, obviously. But, you know, if you're a vegetarian, then this is a good option. So, the Trinity had cheddar cheese in it, and it's, you know, quite good, but it's not special. The Comal replaces the cheddar with Monterey Jack, which let's see how much of a difference that makes. So here we go. By itself, as I remembered, it's just not very exciting for me, just because it doesn't have that fattiness that comes with the brisket or with the bacon. It doesn't have any of the starches that come with the potatoes. I actually think potatoes would be good in this because it would add a flavor to it that it's missing. You know, if you could add like a greasy note to this and give me some of that fat that I'm looking for, I think that would really actually help. So, you know, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not bad. So, you know, let's just throw the sauces on there quick. Oh, I just tried the Comal with both sauces, and you know, it's a really nice platform for the sauce to like show what it's capable of, but by no means is it does it make it any more special. So the Comal, just okay. So last but not least is the Don't Mess with Texas. I have never had this, and I'll read it straight off of the menu. This has charro beans, which I believe, according to Postmates, is refried beans, but we'll find out. Charro beans, bacon, potatoes, and cheddar cheese. Now you will notice, and I'm assuming that there's egg in this, but it does not say that there's egg in this, and it does mention that there's eggs in all the other ones. So we'll see. This could be a very interesting experience. Yeah, I don't see a single egg in this, so you can see I see a lot of all the ingredients, but I don't see any eggs. So this is a very different take on the breakfast taco. I think this will be the first anything I've had on this channel that doesn't have eggs in it. So let's take a bite. Very interesting. The refried beans are powerful. I mean, you take a bite of this thing, and even though there's like a full full strip of bacon on the top, it's just refried beans is the main flavor profile. I'm gonna take one more bite. I'm not a huge fan, I'm not gonna lie. I miss the eggs. That refried bean texture is just such like a paste, you know? And I'm not a huge fan of it in this quantity. If it was sort of like a nice spread of refried beans with then eggs and cheddar, and like this was basically just a trinity with refried beans on it, I think it would be a lot more interesting, and I'd love to try that. But for me, this is a no-go. But if you are a fan of refried beans in any way, shape, or form, you are gonna love this thing. I will, as I have with the other three, try it with the sauces. So chipotle sauce, green sauce. It's that refried bean is just, that's a hate it or love it kind of thing. You know, it's I wanted to try something that I hadn't had before, number one, and number two, that was a little bit different from what I've been having on the channel. So I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I tried it. As I said, if you do like refried beans, you will absolutely love this taco. You know, overall, HOMESTATE, some really, really solid options. I would say absolutely nothing here is bad. Everything here is really, really solid, and for me personally, the picos with the brisket is just above and beyond. I will see you guys back in the studio in 1, 2, 3. And here I am back at the studio once again. We should just jump right into these ratings. I'm not rating one individual taco. I have to rate them all as an experience. So for taste, I'm gonna go with an 8. I really, really liked the Pecos taco. I thought the Trinity taco was good, not great. The Comal and the Don't Mess with Texas aren't for me. In terms of distribution of ingredients, across the board, 10s. Across the board. Every single bite had every ingredient in it, and no ingredient besides the refried beans and the Don't Mess with Texas ever overwhelmed any other ingredient. Overall, the X factor here is really, really high. I'm gonna go to a 9 on X factor. I really, really enjoyed the experience of eating each taco. And that's something that you can't really quantify. It's not something that I can explain to you. It's just, even though I didn't necessarily love every single flavor that I was being presented with, I did enjoy, I enjoyed unwrapping them out of the foil. I enjoyed like the little stickers with each individual thing on it. I enjoy that they stamped their bags, and they just use a brown paper bag that's stamped with HOMESTATE, and it just feels very, the whole experience is just really, really great. So for X Factor, I'm going to a 9. Moving on. Next is value. So each one of those tacos is $4.20. And that means that for 4 tacos, you're spending about $16, which I would actually say is pretty fair. Just in general, you're probably gonna get out of HOMESTATE spending less than $15 especially if you're doing takeout and you don't need to get drinks and all sorts of other stuff. So overall, for value, I'm gonna go high again. I'm gonna go to an 8.5. So that brings us to a total of 35.5 out of 40 for the Homestate breakfast tacos, which is really, really impressive. I also wanted to shout out one of our fans for suggesting Homestate to me. That is super duper helpful in terms of me finding new places. As I said when I was at the park, I had heard of Homestate before, I had it before, but I hadn't really thought about doing it for the channel until it was recommended to me by a fan. So if you know of a place that makes great breakfast like Homestate, please let me know down in the comments. It is super, super helpful, and as you can see, I totally do go to these places because I don't know every great breakfast place in Los Angeles. Thank you again for watching the video. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then share it with your friends because it's really gonna help us expand what we're doing and go to new heights with this channel. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next week on Breakfast Time.